All right, what's up, my Tech Nation, Tech Tribe? I haven't even chosen a. I think I was meddling with this whole Tech Tribe phrase. Anyway, until I figure out what I'm going to call you guys, what is up? All right, so here's the thing, and I think persons abroad will be a little bit clueless on what I am about to speak of. But there is an exposition. There's an agricultural show in Jamaica known as Denbigh Agricultural Show. It's normally it's tradition. It is, I think this year was the what was it, the 61st or the 67th? I don't remember. Something. I'll probably do an update. But it's been going on for years, like years, man. But it's normally an agricultural show, and it has now become more than an agricultural show, because agricultural shows will show products like livestock and crops. So tomatoes, yams, bananas, all that yummy goodness, stuff that I'm sure people all around the world would be amazed at eating, but you're not in Jamaica. Well, what I'd say is come to Jamaica and you get to eat this stuff. But, and then you'd have livestock. So we'll have goats, cows, chickens, stuff like that, right? And then there's always food, like cooked food, normally like quick food. Like it's like a carnival, really. So you'd have hot dogs and popcorn and all sorts of quick food, carnival type food. Now, it has grown beyond being an agricultural show. It is now, I don't remember what I was calling it secretly. I think I was calling it more of a industrial show. I don't remember what I was calling it. But people in other industries are now there. So you could be in tech, you could be in, I saw people from insurance companies, I saw people from various industries, right? And I spoke to someone that was doing solar lights, because that's a special interest of mine, not as a service to be provided by Astra, but something I am interested in. Because the thing is, here, well, let me show you where my interests are, where my interest springs from. My company works on computers as one of its services. Now, laptop batteries are composed of normally a set of 8 lithium battery cells. So you see one solid battery, and inside of it are cells, 8 cells. So when a battery goes bad, I tend to open the batteries. So I'll say, okay, this battery is no good, can't be used again. I'll open the battery, test each cell. The ones that don't pass my test are discarded. The ones that do pass it, well, I could get other cells and solder them together in the same parallel setup, and refurbish the battery essentially, right? Or I could probably just buy new cells, but I don't. What I tend to do is I discard the bad cells, and then the good ones, I'll use them to repair like solar lights that I find around the house and so on that have bad cells, because it's the same types of cells, right? So I've always had I'm always meddling, and then sometimes there are some solar lights that go bad, and I know that it hasn't really gone bad. Normally it's like water damage, and the water damage causes the name has slipped me, the photocell to go bad. What the photocell does is two things. Well, it's a I think they're integrated these days. But the photocell normally is a sensor that senses. I'm trying to remember if they're making any with them separate. But anyway, the photocell detects light. it detects ultraviolet light. When the ultraviolet light is not detected, the lights come on. So it's almost like a relay. So the lights come on. When ultraviolet light is detected, it goes off. And then, of course, the solar panels will absorb the ultraviolet light and charge the batteries. So I tend to open them and do some rewiring and find some way of getting them to work. So I saw this company selling them, and I was just picking their brain, talking to them, and sort of networking and learning from them, because I like to ask questions and learn. I mean, in fact, if you're in IT and you're not someone who likes to ask questions and to learn, then I don't know how you're going to survive. I know I'm a curious person by nature, and I think that curiosity has caused me to learn beyond my abilities. I tend to learn things that aren't necessary for business, but they're necessary for life, as you can see with the whole solar lights thing. So as they're talking to them and learning, and I actually enjoyed speaking. I going around talking to the different companies and getting to know them and learning from them, and I even saw this one that I'm familiar with. I bought stuff from them before, and I'm like, oh, these guys, I could actually go there and buy. Like, I needed some engine oil the other day, and I got some, but I was like, oh, in Kingston I could just go over there, buy some from them, and it would work out good for me. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah. And I like when people, like, they'll say stuff, like, especially if they know that you have some knowledge of something, like they say stuff and I learn from them. I really like that. That is great. Yeah. So I enjoyed the whole thing. And this Denbigh Agricultural Show, what makes it such a nice experience is it's not just agriculture, because to be honest, I'm not fascinated by the agricultural side, because I come from a family of farmers, even though I'm in tech. So my grandmother raised cows and goats. My dad raises crops, cane, while I grew up, and then he delved into sweet potatoes. He's doing peppers now, coconuts, and it was what I guess. Funny enough, I'm just thinking about how I'm always talking to people and asking questions. Like, I learned, because I don't deal with the coconuts. I eat coconuts and I drink the water. I'm not the farmer, but I was just there meddling and asking questions. I was like, just lingering and looking, and questions coming to me and me asking. I'm like, I have quite a bit of information to go report. I thought that was nice. Having that curious nature and asking questions and getting information, and in some way, I guess, very sneakily, kind of like, almost like I'm flirting with the female persons, but not that. I like all the women I've spoken to, I didn't find any of them attractive, but they were there. I'm just talking, asking questions, giving feedback and learning. I'm like, yeah, this sounds good, because the thing is I have brought, what would I say? Okay, let me see if I can put things in perspective. Okay, Albert Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Now, there are many things that I have never done, but I know others have, And it's not like I'm trying to be the wiser man by learning from other people's mistakes, but I use my brain and I see how people do things, do business, and I'm like, do I really want to do business like everyone else does it? Do I really want to operate like my whole aim is to solve problems? Like, it is the core of Astra Service Desk Limited, to solve problems. Yes, you get paid for what you do, but to solve problems, meaning when you have a problem, we don't want to band-aid it, because the thing is, there are enough problems in this world, that ICT solves for us to get work. That's how I think anyway, and that is a core belief of this company. So rather than put a band-aid over the issue, it would make sense to solve the core issue, and then naturally there will be other issues that arise. Look at this idiot. What's your problem? Taxes. How snobbish. Oh boy. All of that for nothing, because all of us passed that. I was overtaking a truck, and somehow the guy in front of me, he just, I don't know, froze or something. And then there's a trailer, and then the snobbish taximan came and just basically ran us off the road. And then the trailer pulled off, and all of us went all the way around. No problem. Didn't have to be snobbish. Anyway, so our core, one of our core tenants is to solve problems. Don't band-aid stuff. Solve the problem. There will be more problems. Come on, there are enough problems in the world for us to solve. Let's fix these problems and deal with others from someone else, and whoever we had helped in the past to improve on their business, they'll have more problems in the future. We cannot run out of problems. So we have this thing where we just solve problems. Right, so I'm having a senior moment. For those who don't know, a senior moment is when you had a point to make, you had something to say, and you forgot what your point was. Because there's this thing, well, for me anyway, I don't just go into what I'm going to say. Because I'm not a master storyteller, but you have to have some sort of build-up. You have to have some sort of baseline or basis, start of a story, then you have a climax, and then the story ends. But you can't just jump right in, or it wouldn't be a story. So I did the whole build-up thing, and then I totally forgot what I was going to say. What's interesting? He is like stuff that are. It's always story type stuff that gets forgotten. It's not like how do I fix this again? No, it's always like who did that again? It's always that story type of setup. But yeah, so I was going to say we try and fix problems, but being in a setting like that, it was just a nice way of knowing things that were kind of lacking. So, like for instance, I spoke to someone that dealt with what you call it, certification, like standards, and I thought, no one in my field does this type of stuff. But because I don't think like others. That's why I like listening to people who say, when you have a vision, follow your vision. And sometimes you may have to not tell people your vision because you want to do things a certain way. Because I like to have structure to everything I do, and procedures and policies that govern everything I do, and everyone that's under my command should follow those procedures and policies because it is structured. Because I've encountered people in my field that are not very structured, and the results that you are looking for don't come sometimes in a timely manner or in the way that you would like. So you may find someone with very good skill sets, and you say, okay, I have this problem, could you solve it for me? And they'll be like, yeah, definitely. And I know this person is really good at what they do, but the person takes 3 months to turn up. And I'll be like, hey, remember we had spoken, whatever, and at least I would have hoped that you come and do an assessment. We could just plan, 15 minutes, you come, have a look, and then you could plan another visit, clear your schedule, but at least you would have done your assessment, presented your findings, and I would have set out anything that paperwork or finances or so on that would need to be done to ensure that you come in and do the actual work. But many times people don't do stuff like that. It's just kind of willy-nilly sort of freestyling, and I'm not into that. So as I said, I was speaking to somebody about certification. I was like, is a sick head this? This is a sick head. It's a mentally ill person. I was wondering if this person was going to overtake me, and there was somebody almost right in front of me, and I was thinking, there is not even, a bike could pass between me and the oncoming vehicle, but not a car. So I was thinking, this is a mentally ill person. Oh well, it's a holiday weekend, and that's why we have this thing called Denbigh Agricultural Show. We have August 1st is oh crap, I think I'm mixing it. Let me see, August 1st is Independence and August 6th is Emancipation, or is it vice versa? I don't remember. One of them. But yeah, anytime there's an agricultural show, every time there's a holiday weekend, there always seems to be mentally ill people who come on the roads, and they do, look at this, the same guy, and there's a corner right there. I don't think he's going to, he just makes it. And the thing is, the person that's going to come around the corner is coming down a hill and is going to cross a bridge, and then use that momentum to kind of go over this slight slope. Oh, and then there's this pothole. Anyway, I think some of these people just have to meet in accidents and get injured to learn. But anyway, back to my story. So I've never thought about how would you say, using an ISO standard, but I'm seriously considering it. See, another sick one here, just by how he's swinging this vehicle in traffic. I was thinking, it sounds weird. It sounds a little bit far-fetched as well, because of the what would you say, the auditing process sounds a little bit stringent, but I'm actually going to put it in my roadmap. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in my roadmap because standards are important, and these are international standards. As I said, ISO, I think it was ISO 9001. There's a standard for services rendered. And to be honest, most people pay more attention to the results of services rendered, which is in many ways good enough, but I'd like to see us abide by international standards just the same. Yeah, but anyway, it was great talking to some people in other fields because I never encountered anybody who had any company there that was actually in my field. But and then the thing is, because they weren't in my field, I was able to pick their brains and learn about various industries that I had no involvement in. Learning is great. Yeah. So it was great talking to you guys. I am going to rest a bit, but I must say I did enjoy this experience. Yeah, and then I am going to try. I'm making some adjustments to my work hours beyond office hours, so I can be a little bit more efficient during office hours, because there are so many nuances that have to be addressed. Many times I go way beyond office hours, and many times I go into very wee hours. But I'm trying to make some adjustments because I want to be more efficient. Yep. Anyway, I am gone.